What's up, Piggy Garage? Welcome back to another YouTube video. For those of you that are just tuning in for the first time, thanks for clicking on this video. I'm more or less a guy that's a car enthusiast and just has a deep passion for cars, and I like sharing it with other people and taking this time and opportunities to meet other car enthusiasts and share this passion that we all have, and that's cars. And this is not really a person, it's just a garage. We're all picky about our stuff, we're picky about our garages. At least I am picky about the cars that we drive every day, and the smiles that they put on our face. Not smiles per gallon, or well, not miles per gallon, smiles per gallon, there we go. Got a little bit confused. Like I said, guys, thanks again for tuning in. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about how to get your cars ready for hibernation. Yep, storing your cars properly. This is an overlooked aspect to many vehicles, and it can save you thousands of dollars down the road if you know how to properly store your car. If you follow these steps, your car will be able to keep smiles on your face for years to come, and will help with the longevity of the vehicle and keep those maintenance prices down on unwanted repair bills. So we're going to jump into it, guys, here, and I'm going to go ahead and get a whiteboard for you all so you all can check step by step. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and go through the steps that you should follow in order to increase the longevity of your vehicle and keep it clean and maintained for years to come, or just for however long you own the vehicle, and keep those maintenance bills down to a minimum. If you do these steps, I can assure you that you'll be thankful when it comes spring or whenever the winter months are done, or even if you're just storing your car for a short period of time. Here, it's cold for about 4 months, and with these Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires, they don't do good in cold weather, like anything below like 60 degrees. These tires slip and slide, and then when it gets to freezing temperatures, they actually will tear. So highly recommend not driving your GT350R, or I believe your GT3 RSs and GT2 RSs. I think they come with these tires as well. I wouldn't drive it in the cold weather, because to replace these 315s in the front and rear, because yes, the 350Rs have 315s up front and 315s up rear, 315-30s, and should be up 315-30s. So it's a square stance. So yeah, the GT350R is 315-30s up front and 315-30s in the rear. Square stance, great handling vehicle, sticks to the road, and that's part of the reason is because of those sticky tires. Driving in the cold will tear those tires up like that. And to replace them, a couple $1,000, and don't feel like doing that when it can be prevented. There's some other cars that I can drive, and I don't daily drive this car. So to start down the list of the things that you should do in order to keep your car in pristine condition for the winter or the hibernating months, or even just storing it for, you know, a weekend or whenever you store the car, this is what you should start out with. Okay, so to start this list, the first thing you want to do before putting your car away is give it a good clean and wax. So we're going to go ahead and start with the wash. This wash is going to use whatever wash you want to use to strip the existing wax or sealant layer on your car. So you're going to go ahead and wash it. Use your foam cannon, or go ahead and hand wash with the 2-bucket method. So you're dipping the contaminants in the one bucket, rinse it off, and then go ahead and dip it in your soap bucket. Next, you're going to move to step 2, which is the iron remover stage. You can use whatever iron remover you would like, just to get the iron additives off the vehicle and off the paint. Next is going to be the clay bar. You can use, I suggest Meguiar's Professional grade instead of the 3M. Now that 3M moved to a Japanese brand, it's not as good. Or you can use the synthetic clay bar. I suggest those as well. They work pretty good, because if you drop it on the ground, you can just rinse it off and go back to using it on your paint. I have tried those and they work pretty good. Not as good as the Meguiar's, but they get the job done, and you can use them a lot more than the Meguiar's or any other clay bar. Next, you're going to do the paint and polish or paint correction, depending on the swirls or anything that you have on the car from the summer of driving or the year of driving, or however long that you've driven the car, and from those washes and drying with the towel, any little dust or debris that's put swirl marks in the paint. Black cars have this issue a lot more than lighter colored cars. You can see dirt and swirl marks in the paint a lot easier. So you can go ahead and do that polish and paint correction. After that, you're going to want to use your paint sealant. There's plenty of sealants out there, whatever you prefer. There's Meguiar's Fast Finish, another one that Obsessed Garage uses, or you can look at Pan the Organizer. He has some great videos on some paint sealants. Or if you want to, you can go ahead and ceramic coat your car at this time. There's added benefits to both. Some people, detail their cars all the time, so they don't see the need for ceramic coating. Or if you don't want to wash your car as much, or you just want that thin layer of protection, go ahead and do the ceramic coating at this time. There's Car Pro, Quartz, there's Ceramic Pro, there's a whole bunch of, there's Kamikaze, there's a whole bunch of different ceramic coats out there. Car Pro used to be the best, or it still might be the best, but it's very expensive. But now, as time goes on, brands have caught along, and now ceramic coatings, there's a lot of good ceramic coating brands. If you don't do the ceramic coating, after the paint sealant, you're going to want to go ahead and use the wax. You can use Colonite 9105 or whatever it's called, or whatever wax that you prefer. You just want to go ahead and put that layer of protection that's going to create that smooth layer on your car and protect your car for those hibernating months or however long you're going to store your vehicle. And then when you go ahead and take your car out after you store it, it's going to look beautiful, and you might just have to hit it with a quick detailer or some bead maker, or just a quick detailing spray to get any dust that's accumulated on the vehicle over the storing period. It's going to really help prevent your car from also getting scratched when you put a car cover over it, or if you're going to cover your car and dust and debris is going to get on top of that car. You don't want to put a dirty car away, because it's just going to scratch with that car cover over top of your vehicle. Okay guys, so you just got done washing your car. Step number 2 that I suggest is, so you just washed your car and you know that you're going to be putting it away for a certain extended period of time. The next thing you're going to want to do is go ahead and fill up the tank of gas. Now, I suggest going somewhere close. Don't run the car hard. You don't want to get rubber on the rear fenders of the car that you just washed off. But what this will also do is help dry that car off, get the water out of the mirror spots and the hard to get places that the towels and electric dryers don't do. So go ahead and fill that tank all the way up. What this does is it prevents from condensation and erosion inside the gas tank. It also will help when you go ahead and take that car out, you have a full tank of gas. So go ahead and go to the gas station and fill that tank all the way up with whatever you need, whether that's 93 octane or if it's a race car, fill it all the way up. It's a lot easier than draining the tank full. So what filling it up does is, if the gas tank isn't full, the gas tank fills up with condensation, water, and that water corrodes and destroys the inside liner of the gas tanks or whatever. It's just not good. You want to fill up your car all the way, make sure that you have a full tank of gas, and this also will lead into number 3. All right, once you fill that gas tank all the way up, the third thing you're going to want to do is add a stabilizer. I just go to my Advanced Auto Parts, or what you can do on Amazon, and just buy some Stabil. I got 360 protection, ethanol treatment, and stabilizer. It prevents corrosion, prevents ethanol damage, and it treats up to 50 gallons. So what you're going to want to do is use it after you fill up your car. Let the car run for 5 minutes. Let the stabilizer run through the engine and everything, and let it set in there. and then you'll be good to go. So that's step number 3. Add a stabilizer, Stabil, or any of the stabilizers that you can get at your Advanced Auto Parts or local auto shop, AutoZone, Amazon, anything that you want to do. Some people don't like to do this, or some people think that it's only needed for small engines. I just would go ahead and do it. It's better to be safe than sorry, and it's just, you know, $3, $5 to add the comfort and help you sleep at night, to make sure that you know that your baby is safe and sound in storage. So that's step number 3. So let's go ahead and go to step number 4. What you want to go ahead and do is step number 4, top all your fluids, make sure that everything's topped off. Top your antifreeze, make sure that's topped off, your windshield wiper fluid, anything that needs to be topped off, top it off, so when you take that car out in the spring, or if you need your garage redone, or you have to take it out, whatever the case may be, make sure those fluids are topped and you'll be good to go. Okay guys, so step number 5, there's a couple different approaches that you can take to this one. It's going to be tires. It all depends how you're going to store this car. If you're going to store it just with a cover off of it and the car on the ground, or you're going to have it up on ramps, have the ramps up on the frame, or lift it up on the frame so the tires aren't on the ground. There's a couple ways that you can go about it. So what I do is, I don't put my car up in the air. I keep it on the ground, and I just go ahead and make sure that the tires are filled up all the way up to the maximum suggested PSI. So whatever the max rating is on the tire, I go ahead and fill it up to that max rating, just to further prevent tire flat spots on the tire. Another thing that you can do is you can get these flat prevention ramps. It's a concave curve little ramp that you put the tires on top of, or you drive your car up on top of, and that'll help prevent tires getting flat. I don't really see the need in spending $200. I think there's a pair on Amazon for $50. I don't see the need to do that, as once you drive the car in a couple miles, the flat spots, if there are any, run out. But if you just fill up the tires to the maximum PSI, you really don't need to do that. I haven't had the need to do that. Just fill the tires up with more PSI. And another thing that you can do is, if your car isn't in a bubble or anything, or up on a ramp, you can, go ahead and back it out, or switch it up so the tires aren't in the same exact spot. So go ahead and fill up that PSI on your tires, or you can put the car up and put blocks under the frame or whatever you have it, and take the wheels off your car and put them in a safe location. That's another suggestion. So you have, let me go ahead and write them down for you. So guys, you can fill the tires up with the maximum rating PSI to prevent the flat spots. You can use the flat prevention ramps that you can get off Amazon. They're as cheap as $50 or expensive as $250. They all do the same thing, just one doesn't slip as much. And then the third thing, which is probably the best to prevent flat spots, is to take tires off and store them in a safe location. That way you know that you're not going to have any flat spots when you go and take this car out. Or if you're going to be driving the car and it's not going to be sitting still for a long period of time, you can just go ahead and move the car to make sure that it's in a different spot and it's not in the same spot for a long period of time. But do know that most tires, once you drive for a couple miles, if there is any flat spots, those flat spots will come out of the tires. So the next thing, guys, is going to be engine oil. Go ahead and drop the dipstick down if your oil is dirty, or it's at that mileage where the dealership suggests a oil change. Go ahead and change that car, or change that oil in your car to make sure that it has a fresh oil. Or if you're not going to store it for longer than a year, I would just suggest making or changing the oil once you take it out of the hibernation or storage, go ahead and change the oil at that time, as long as it's not over a year. With this synthetic branding or the synthetic oils these days, they're fine to sit in your car as long as it's not dirty and you're not past that mileage threshold. So if you're changing it every 5,000 miles and you're at 5,300 miles, I would go ahead and change it. If you're at 3,000 miles, this is just hypothetically, and you have that 5,000 mile suggested oil change, I would go ahead and just wait until you take it out of storage or hibernation. If it's only going to be a couple months, a couple weeks, go ahead and change the oil once you take it out of that storage location. You should be okay, and then you have brand new fresh oil for your daily drives or your weekend drives, whatever you're using the vehicle for. But go ahead and check that oil. If it's dirty, like I said, you want to change it before you store it. You don't want bad contaminated oil sitting in the car. Or if it's over a year, I would go ahead and change that oil. Guys, number 7 is the storage location. If you have a home detached garage, that's perfect. But if you don't have a garage or something to put your car in, I would go ahead and look at a storage facility. Make sure that the storage facility is climate controlled and has moisture prevention, like dehumidifiers that keeps the moisture at a certain temperature. And make sure it's climate controlled. Make sure that all these things are in line. That's the best place to put your car in. Your baby, you want it in the best storage place possible. If you don't have those, go ahead and look into a car bubble. I actually bought a car bubble that you guys I'll be reviewing on my channel for my car, even though the garage is climate controlled and it's a nice garage. I just wanted to get one to review to you guys, people that don't have the piggy garage type deal, detached garage. And need something to put your car in. So I went ahead and bought a car bubble, which I'll talk about in a couple minutes. So storage location, if you don't have a detached garage or a garage to put your car in, make sure that you're storing it in a nice facility that's has good security. You don't want your car getting stolen. Has electric, so you can put it on a trickle charger, which I'll talk about in a couple minutes, and climate controlled and moisture controlled. Do know that, or make sure that the floors are concrete, because if it's in a barn and it's not concrete floors, moisture does rise and it'll get under your car and rust the whole bottom of your vehicle. All right, guys, step number 8 is ventilation. This is an important one. Go ahead and roll down or crack your windows. As you can see, the 350R's windows are always cracked. Prevent moisture and condensation built up inside the cabin of the car. You need a way for the car to breathe. In the newer cars, the vents close shut when you turn the vehicle off, so you want to go ahead and crack those windows. This is also a factor in whenever you get in your car and you don't know why the windows are always fogging up or there's condensation inside all the time. There actually is a thin layer that actually builds on the inside of the car windows when it doesn't get ventilation and air isn't moving through. So go ahead and crack those windows when it's being stored. I even suggest this when you're just, put it away for a couple days. It builds up pretty quickly and it's kind of a pain in the butt, because then you have to clean the inside of your windows. And you're like, why the heck is this happening? I didn't know this for a couple years until my dad passed that knowledge down onto me, and I was like, wow, okay, so that's why you crack your windows all the time. So ventilation, crack those windows, make sure that air is circulating. You don't want the moisture and condensation build up in those in the inside of your car, ruining the interior, putting that thin layer of film on the inside of those windows. The next thing you want to do is the battery. You can do two things. Take that battery out and put it on a battery tender, not a trickle charger, and make sure that it's being charged or whatever during the hibernating months. Or you can hook your car up to a trickle charger. That's the step that I use. I don't like taking the battery out, because that's one more thing to put in when you're ready to take that car out in the spring. So go ahead and take care of the battery, either with a battery tender, taking the battery out, or trickle charger. All right, guys, number 10, rodent protection. You want to go ahead and put mouse traps around the car or in the garage. Mice and rodents find crazy ways to get inside. They want to stay away from the cold, so they're going to get in your garage somehow or another. So Pest control, I suggest mouse traps. You don't want to get those mice and rodents in the engine. They're trying to find warmth. Another thing to do is close all the outside extremities. So go ahead and put covers over your exhaust pipes or whatnot. Cover those up with a bag or something, tape it off. You just don't want those mice and rodents to get into your car, into your engine. So the best thing to do is, what I did is I buy a car bubble, which is completely shuts your car off from the outside world. Also, it's in a garage. Just that extra layer of the protection that helps you sleep at night, like I was saying. And then the mouse traps around your car, just to take care of any pest problems that you might have or come across. Hopefully they just stay away, and that's the best case scenario. And just taking those prevention steps to prevent rodents from getting inside your car and destroying wires and whatever else. Okay, the 11th step is a car cover. Make sure that it's a tight-fitting car cover that's going to protect that car, but also make sure that it's breathable. You don't want the car cover to be moving just in case there's any debris on the car. Make sure that you go ahead and do a real quick once over of the car, hit it with a real quick car detailer to make sure it's the body is smooth. You know, you don't want any imperfections on that paint. You want to stay away from ruining that whole wash and wax step that we went through at step 1. So step 11, get a nice car cover. What I did was I got a car bubble that is vents, and it keeps, you know, all the debris and everything away from your car. There's a car or a filter that goes over top outside the bubble that keeps, you know, dust and debris out of the car bubble, and then a little fan that keeps air circulating. It's a great purchase. I highly recommend it, and in the next video probably I'll be doing how to put it together, and then in the next couple months I'll do a review, because I don't want to do a review right away. I want to, you know, put it through the tests pretty much, a full hibernation with the GT350R, and I'll make a review then. But the next upcoming video will most likely be the installation and putting the 350R inside of the car bubble. It's another great thing. You know, those are pretty much all the steps that I have for storing the car. You don't have to do all of them. I just suggest it to create you know, comfort at home and at ease. Cars are my baby, you know, they're your babies too. Everyone's a piggy person. Piggy garage isn't a person. It's a whole, you know, it's a garage. It's everybody, everyone that's piggy about their cars. And this is just to create longevity for the vehicle and help it, you know, last for a long time in years to come. Keep down on the maintenance, and you just don't want any problems, and all these steps will help with those problems. Some other things to suggest are, you know, you can, you know, if you need to save some money, you can drop the insurance, or you can call your insurance provider and say, hey, I'm only driving this car for half the year. I don't need a full 12 months of coverage, because for 6 months or 4 months or 3 months out of the year, it's going to be sitting in the garage, and you can save some money there. You would be surprised. I don't do that because I just like, you know, sleeping well at night. What if, you know, the garage fell or what have you. But actually they cover you. You know, if you need to save money, that's a suggestion. Just call your insurance and be like, hey, is there anything that you can do? Like, store my car for X amount of months. Is there a lower rate that I can get? You'd be surprised what they will say and how much you can actually save by doing that. Another thing that you can do is get moisture traps. There's different type of traps that, or whatever they're called, that lock in moisture or put moisture in a bag. There's different types of things. Another thing that you can do is put a tarp under your car on the concrete floor, and just another prevention step to prevent that moisture from rising from the floors. All in all, guys, those are all my tips and suggestions on properly storing a vehicle over an extended period of time, or even a short period of time. If you made it through this whole video, or you just skipped through it, thanks again for watching. As always, please like and subscribe, and comment if you have anything that you would like to suggest. You know, I'm always ears to hearing new ideas, and that's what this YouTube channel is about: hearing new things, meeting new people, and sharing our passion with cars. As always, guys, stay picky and enjoy your cars, drive them, and stay tuned for next video. Thank you.